Hello friends, I am Chevee. Welcome to my shed of randomness. Totally random this week. Remember I was telling you I pulled the guitar out of storage? This is that guitar. This is nothing even remotely fancy. This guitar is made by a company called Huntington, which I'm pretty sure isn't an actual company. I think this is just like one of those things that this is like a generic Chinese factory guitar that has 1,000 different brand names because people are just resellers. That's this thing. I think it was like 70 bucks on eBay about a decade ago. But surprisingly, when I got it, this is an acoustic electric, so it does have a pickup in there. When I got it, I tested it, you know, and it plays well. It has good, I think it's called annotation. Is that what it is when like all of the frets play the correct note? I think there's maybe one fret in here that's a little bit flat, or on one of the strings, or there's a couple of flat spots, and so that can be adjusted by the bridge or by the fret. But overall, for 70 bucks, it's actually a fairly well-built guitar. I'm really pleased with the finish of the product. All the hardware seems okay. These are nice tuning knobs. I mean, it's actually pretty decent. And I gave it to a friend of mine when I first got it, who is, I mean, he's been a musician since like the 70s, has his own recording studio, so he knows a little bit about guitars. And he played it, and he's like, yeah, it's pretty good. The only problem I have with it is the action back here is like way high. Like up here, it's almost electric guitar level, so that the strings are really close to the frets. Down here, I would say the strings are 5 or 6 times as far from the frets as they are up here, which can get tiring when you're playing and you have to push that much. So I would like to lower the action a bit, and that's what we're here to talk about. I told you that I've been just kind of practicing chord changes, and I don't know very many chords. I like maybe 5. And my fingers have been hurting, and I don't remember if these are the original strings that came on it, or if I got these off of a friend. I think a friend gave me these, and I think they're a light gauge string, but I'm not positive. So I went and bought, oh, that says 3 sets. Is that really a thing? These are, D'Addario light gauge phosphor bronze strings, which are like the #1 rated acoustic string ever. So I bought, I guess it is 3 sets in here. So I bought a bunch of these. So I'm going to replace these with light gauge strings, and while I'm at it, I think I'm going to sand this bridge down just ever so slightly, and I'm scared of that. So that's why we're here. What I know of guitars is that if you don't have a clue what you're doing, they're really easy to mess up. And if you don't have a clue what you're doing, the mess up isn't obvious. So they're semi-forgiving in a sense that if you aren't trained, if you don't have a trained musical ear, you won't know that you screwed it up because it'll sound okay to the average person, but to a person who knows what they're doing, it'll sound like crap. So what I want to do, and this is my plan, and tell me if I'm crazy, I'm going to take these strings off. And I saw a suggestion on I think a YouTube video or something down here at the bridge to draw a Sharpie line across the bridge where the bridge meets the saddle. I think that's what this is called. I don't know. I'm making that up. And that way when I'm sanding on the bridge, so I'm sanding the bottom of it to bring it down, I can make sure that I'm sanding it parallel so that the thing's not getting cocked. Because if it gets cocked, then that's going to throw everything off. I want these strings to be relatively level. This bridge design is like funky, like half of the strings are this way, half are this way, so it adjusts that annotation by moving the touch point of the string forward and backwards some. So I don't want to mess with that at all. I just want to lower it ever so slightly. The other thing I need to do is, I haven't done this since I got it back out, is check to see how flat the neck is. It's not flat. It's ever so slightly concave, which I think is what people say you're supposed to have. You'd rather be concave than convex. Tell me if that's true. I haven't looked any of this up, because I think somebody said that a long time ago that the easiest way to get the answer on the internet is not to ask a question, it's to give the wrong information. So I think the neck's supposed to be bent this way, if it's bent at all. I don't know. Am I supposed to straighten it? Or should I leave it bent? Or does it even frickin' matter? Like, I'm not planning on playing concert hall music. I'm just fiddling around with an old instrument that I've fought with my whole life, and I don't have any other instrument to play right now. So I wanna figure this thing out. But first I want to get it set up so that I feel it's giving me the best shot at success. Right now, it's giving me an okay shot at success, but honestly, the amount that I have to push here, the strange difference between how much I have to push up here versus this crazy distance down here is really weird feeling when I'm playing, and I want to fix that. So I need your help. If you have the answers to any of the questions I've asked, what way should this neck be bent? Is sanding this down as critical as I think it is, or can I kind of just sand it and that's fine? And is there anything else I can do to improve the action on this thing, or anything I should be concerned about while I'm changing the action? I'd love to know. Please let me know in the comments below. Love hearing from you. I love the fact that you keep coming back, even though I do random crap, because this has been the most random last few weeks ever. So thank you for all of that. I really appreciate you. I appreciate you hanging in there with me. Yeah, we'll just stop there. I'll see you tomorrow.
Hey, Doc, wait! I want to ask you something.
Today's random fact comes from MayflowerHistory.com. How long did it take to sail from England to America in the 1700s? By the time the Pilgrims have left England, they had already been living on board the ships for nearly a month and a half. The voyage itself across the Atlantic Ocean took 66 days from their departure on September 6 until Cape Cod was sighted on 9 November 1620.